Welcome to Cozy Bedtime Stories. Are you ready to immerse yourself for the magic that's about to unfold? Let's dive straight into this magical story of Lucian, the Midnight Painter. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Canvas. In the quaint village of Moonvale, nestled between misty hills and a serene lake, there was a peculiar rumor whispered among the townsfolk. They spoke of an artist who painted only under the cover of night. His works, never witnessed in progress, would appear on the village square each dawn, vivid and alive with emotions no one could put into words. The artist, known only as Lucian, lived in a tiny cottage at the edge of the woods. His home, surrounded by wildflowers and towering oaks, was as mysterious as the man himself. Though the villagers were endlessly curious, none dared to disturb him. Lucian's latest work had appeared that morning, a magnificent painting of a starry sky, but with a twist. The stars were not fixed points but swirling orbs of light, each one pulsing gently as if alive. The villagers marveled at the masterpiece, but they wondered, how could someone capture such magic on canvas? Chapter 2. The Midnight Routine. Lucian's nights were not like others. When the clock struck 12 and the village fell silent, he would light his lantern, open the windows to let the moonlight in, and prepare his brushes and paints. But his tools were not ordinary. The brushes were made of phoenix feathers, and his paints shimmered as though they contained fragments of the sky itself. As he dipped his brush into the luminescent paint, a quiet hum filled the air, and the canvas seemed to come alive beneath his strokes. The images he painted were not from his imagination but visions that appeared to him in dreams. Tonight, however, something was different. As Lucian began his work, the moonlight seemed to dim, and a faint whisper floated through the room. "Lucian," the voice murmured, soft but unmistakable. "It's time to find the source of your gift." He froze, his brush hovering above the canvas. No one had ever disturbed his solitude, and yet this voice felt familiar. Chapter 3. The Invitation. The whisper grew louder, guiding Lucian toward the woods beyond his cottage. Clutching his lantern, he stepped outside, the cool night air wrapping around him like a cloak. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the trees began to glow faintly, their bark shimmering with silver light. At the heart of the woods stood an ancient oak, its trunk wide and gnarled, and its branches stretching impossibly high into the starry sky. Nestled within its roots was a doorway, framed by glowing ivy. The whisper spoke again. "Step through, and find your muse." Lucian hesitated but felt an undeniable pull. He stepped through the door, and the world shifted around him. Chapter 4. The Realm of Infinite Colors. On the other side, Lucian found himself in a realm unlike any he had ever seen. The sky was a tapestry of shifting hues, and the ground sparkled as though covered in crushed gemstones. Rivers of liquid light flowed lazily, and creatures that seemed part shadow and part starlight moved gracefully in the distance. A figure emerged from the vibrant landscape, cloaked in robes that seemed to be made of living constellations. "Welcome, Lucian," the figure said. "I am Callista, keeper of the astral palette. You have been chosen to bring fragments of this realm to your world. But now, your journey requires more than just your brush. Callista handed him a small vial filled with swirling colors. This is essence of creation. Use it wisely. Chapter 5. The Test. Lucian returned to his cottage just before dawn, clutching the vial tightly. That night, as he prepared to paint, he felt an overwhelming sense of anticipation. He poured a single drop of the essence onto his palette, and the colors leapt to life, shimmering and shifting. As he began to paint, the canvas resisted him at first, as though testing his resolve. Shadows crept across the edges, threatening to swallow the light. But Lucian pressed on, pouring his emotions into every stroke. The painting that emerged was unlike anything he had ever created. It was a forest filled with golden light, where every leaf seemed to breathe and every shadow danced with hidden life. When dawn came, the villagers found the painting glowing softly in the square. As they gazed upon it, they felt a deep peace, as though their hearts had been touched by magic. Chapter 6. The Rising Fame. Word of Lucian's paintings began to spread far beyond Moonvale. Travelers came from distant lands to see his work, each one leaving with a sense of wonder they could not explain. But with fame came questions. Who was this midnight painter? How did he create such lifelike, magical works? Lucian, ever the recluse, refused to answer, letting his art speak for itself. One evening, a stranger knocked on his door. She was cloaked in emerald green robes, her eyes bright with curiosity. "I know the source of your power," she said softly. "But do you know its cost?" Chapter 7. The Truth Revealed. The stranger, who called herself Lysandra, explained that the essence of creation was not endless. Each drop Lucian used came at a price, a fragment of his own dreams. "You must decide," she said, "whether to continue painting for others or to preserve the dreams that sustain your soul." Lucian was stunned. He had never considered that his gift might come with a cost. Yet, as he thought of the joy his paintings brought to the villagers, he knew he could not stop. Chapter 8. The Fading Light. Over the next few weeks, Lucian noticed a change. His dreams became fainter, their vivid colors fading to gray. The paintings, though still beautiful, no longer carried the same magic. One night, as he struggled to paint, the lantern by his side flickered and dimmed. The whisper returned, softer this time. "Lucian," it said, "you have given much. Now, it is time to restore what was lost." Chapter 9. The Final Painting. Guided by the whisper, Lucian ventured back to the ancient oak. Callista was waiting, her expression kind but firm. "You have poured your heart into your art," she said. "But even the brightest flame must rest. Tonight, you will paint your masterpiece, the one that will last forever." Lucian returned home and began to paint. He poured every ounce of his being into the canvas, the colors glowing brighter than ever before. When he finished, he stepped back to admire his work, a portrait of Moonvale, bathed in eternal starlight. Chapter 10. The eternal artist. When the villagers awoke the next morning, they found Lucien's cottage empty. His final painting hung in the square, its glow illuminating the entire village. Though Lucien was gone, his spirit lived on in his work, a reminder of the beauty that comes from sharing one's dreams. And every night, as the moonlight bathed Moonvale in silver, the villagers swore they could hear the soft hum of a brush moving across a canvas, painting the stars.